We've got early season trade candidates. We've got a Dodgers Nation mailbag. I'm answering all of your questions. Also, a fan inexplicably heckles Max Muncy, said some inappropriate stuff. We'll talk about that on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You guys wanted a parade? We got a parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Milky Magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel, Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. So if you haven't yet, subscribe. Also, hit the like button. Really helps out the channel. Drop your comments down below. Also, I've been active in the new Dodgers Nation Discord, talking to you guys, dropping stuff in the VIP Nation access where it's $6.99 a month, and you get behind the scenes content, exclusive merch. You can call into the show, all kinds of really cool stuff. So be sure to join that. Also, if you want to do the biggest favor, join the Big Lead One. That is my new show. It's the hottest stories in sports in less than an hour. So definitely be sure to do that. But guys, lots to talk about in Dodgerland. You're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell is that shirt? Is that a tie-dye shirt? Is that some like Bill Walton Grateful Dead shirt? No, this is my Shohei Ohtani decoy shirt. And I'm breaking this out. I got this in Tokyo. I'm breaking this out because, one, decoy is a new big brother. But also, two, this is my Shohei Ohtani slump-busting shirt. This is my Shohei Ohtani slump-busting shirt. And Shohei is in a little bit of a slump to start the season based on his standards. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit and why I think that if you are concerned, I'm going to hopefully make you a little less concerned. Talk some Blake Snell, update on the injury. When could we see him back? Is it more serious than we originally expected it to be? We'll talk about the Dodgers' rough two-game set there in Chicago. And also, we are talking mailbag. Got the new mailbag segment we're breaking out today. Answer all your questions. You guys asked me about trade candidates, Nolan Arenado, Logan Gilbert. Hey, you guys asked the questions. I gave you the answers. So we'll talk about some early season trade candidates in just a little bit. But of course, every episode of Dodgers Dugout Live starts with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is something that I saw on social media, something that's been going viral. You won't see this on Sportsnet LA. You won't see this on ESPN. This is something that you basically are only going to see on social media because of how inappropriate it was. And yesterday, after the Dodgers lose, you have Dodgers third baseman Max Muncy, and he's coming out of Wrigley, going onto the team bus, and a fan is giving it to Max Muncy. I'm not going to play the whole thing because this guy was dropping F-bombs. He was saying some other inappropriate stuff, but I'll stop up into the part where Max Muncy gives him the absolute biggest laser death stare that you've ever seen. Here, check this out.
Muncy! Muncy! Muncy!
So you see him right there. Max Muncy is giving him that death stare. This fan is just so over the top, so inappropriate. I don't know if this is a Dodgers fan, but if it is, we do not claim you, bro. This is clown behavior by whoever this is. And I don't know if this is a fan that was upset just because, I don't know if Muncy messed up his parlay or whatever the heck it was. But you can't be doing stuff like this. Yelling, you effing suck. You effing suck, all this stuff. That's just so over the top, so inappropriate. And the truth of the matter is, the guy who did this is a bum, okay? Max Muncy is getting paid millions. He's won a World Series. He's been an all-star. He is a guy that has generational wealth at this point when you kind of think about it. And you're out there on the streets of Chicago telling him he effing sucks. And sure, has Max Muncy gotten off to a slow start? There's no doubt about that. Does he know it? He does. Is this a product of guys later in their careers going through some struggles early on? Yeah, it is. Okay. And Max Muncy has been a little better of late. Yes, the numbers don't reflect that he's this all-star player once again or anything like that, but you've seen him start to take more walks. You've seen him have better at-bats. The expected numbers are a little better. But yeah, make no mistake about it. Max Muncy is in the middle of what has been the worst start of his big league career of any season. He's going through the longest home run drought that he's ever had. The previous long home run drought of his career was 79 plate appearances without a bomb. This year, he's at 85 plate appearances and hasn't left the yard. He's hitting 178, a 57 weighted runs created plus. Sure, the numbers are down, the strikeouts are up, but all that doesn't matter. I mean, for a fan to go out there and yell those kinds of things at Max Muncy is ridiculous. And no, that wasn't Madison Bumgarner out there. And if it was, Max Muncy would throw him into Lake Michigan and tell him to get that ball out of Lake Michigan. No, that wasn't a Cubs fan. That was just an absolute clown. And I don't want to hear this talk, oh, if Max Muncy went out there and tried to punch him, he'd swing and miss. No. Look, I think we get to a point sometimes where, look, these guys, they have good days and bad days. They're human too. And look, here's the thing. Like, I'm okay if you buy your ticket and you want to boo. If you want to heckle a guy, fine. Like, I get it. Like, I think that there's a point where you cross the line there where if you're talking F-bombs and this and that, and you never know if their family's around, okay? Like, that's always something too. But to cross the line like that is absolutely inappropriate. Look, Max Muncy has been someone that loves being a Dodger. He's been a great Dodger. He's been here since 2018, and he does not deserve that level of disrespect. I don't care how bad you think his season is. He did not deserve that level of disrespect. If that is a Dodgers fan, we do not claim you, bro. You're out here trying to get likes, trying to get clout on social media. Max Muncy is getting paid millions, being one of 170, 50 big leaguers that is able to do what he's doing. So, yeah, I mean, the joke's on you, bro. Just don't be doing that stuff. And here's the thing. If Max Muncy comes out of that bus and walks towards him, I guarantee you the energy shifts. The energy shifts from, oh, Max, can I get a picture? Can I get a signed autograph? Hey, can you please? I've been your biggest fan forever, right? Let's not forget, Max Muncy is 9th in franchise history with 190 home runs. Duke Snider, Gil Hodges, Eric Karros, Roy Campanella, Ron Say, Steve Garvey, Matt Kemp, and Carl Furillo are ahead of him. He's going to pass Carl Furillo this year and become 8th. At some point, he could pass Matt Kemp and finish 7th all time in Dodgers home run. So, yeah, I just thought this was clown behavior. I see everyone talking about it. I try to keep my finger on the pulse and make sure that I'm touched on all the topics that Dodgers fans are into. But let me know down below in the comment sections, what was your reaction to seeing this? If you haven't seen this, I mean, I think that, Max Muncy, I would not be surprised if Max Muncy goes on a tear after this fan. This fan, if they woke up Max Muncy, if they pissed him off to the point where he lights it up, we'll see. But let me know down below in the comment section. I want all your takes on all things Dodger baseball and what you thought about in this moment here. The heckler hurt Muncy's feelings. That's from Carl over on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. Cubs fans thanked Muncy. That's from Eric Asen. Yeah, total loser. It's loser behavior. It's absolute loser behavior. The Gator Show was a Cubs fan giving a crap. So if it was a Cubs fan, then, oh my goodness. Like, you could not be a bigger loser, bro. Like, straight up. You cannot be a bigger loser. I don't think a Dodgers fan would do that. I mean, every fan base has their bad apples for sure. And, like, I don't think that. Yeah, here's the thing. Ray Soto says sports athletes get heckled by fans in the daily. Can't let it get under your skin. I don't think that this necessarily is getting under his skin. I'm just saying, like, we don't need to see that. Like, that is just the dumbest thing I've ever seen for a fan to go say you effing suck. And I think he was dropping some other really inappropriate stuff too on top of that. So my man just embarrassing himself out there. All right, guys. So let's get into a couple quick takes about yesterday's action. We'll give an update on Blake Snell, Tony Gonsolin, and then we're going to a new segment, QNLA. And we got Brandon said, guys, that's my video. It was a homeless guy yelling. Oh gosh, if it was him, that's why you're homeless, man. That's why you're homeless. Nando 390, the Bad Apples sit in left field pavilion or top deck. Oh, come on, Nando. None of that. Love me the left field pavilion. Love me the top deck. Every place at Dodger Stadium is great. It's why it's called Blue Heaven on Earth. Joe Castellanos, sorry, appreciate what he's done in the past, but time to move on. If you get paid big money, you need to produce. Look, I get it. Look, if you can't help you pay the rent, kick him out. Like, have you ever heard that, right? But it's still extremely early. I'll answer your questions about a possible trade they could make that a lot of you guys keep asking me about. So we'll go into that in a little bit. But yesterday's game, the Dodgers, they lose. We broke it down on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. But Dave Roberts, he talked about it. And he talked about this team struggling against a really good Chicago Cubs team who has scored over 30 runs more than the next best run-scoring team in the league. So that's a team with firepower. And the Dodgers, they put up runs. It's the pitching didn't answer the bell against that talented lineup. But here was Dave Roberts after the game saying that even though the Dodgers lost the season series to the Cubs, even though they haven't played their best baseball yet this season, that there's no reason to panic.
I think, I think we're just not pitching the way we're capable of. I think that certainly Ben, the starter, did a really nice job getting into the third inning. I think we're walking a lot of guys, giving free bases, and having to be perfect to get out of jams. The pitch count with a lot of guys is up, and just giving guys opportunities. But obviously, you can look at those guys, and they're swinging the bats well. We made a lot of mistakes. It was good to see the offense fight back and, give us a chance to win. Excited to get home, but there's no sense of panic or reason to panic. Some good things with the offense. Obviously, Mookie showed some life. Andy showed some life this series, which was great. This road trip, actually. And so we'll get some other guys untracked. Teo was good. But we got some things to clean up. But outside of that, we just got to keep moving on.
So you got to keep moving on. And yes, Dave Roberts is right. There's no need to panic, but he did mention that bullpen, they have been overtaxed at this point. And you're talking about a bullpen that has been expected to throw too many innings because you haven't got enough depth from that starting rotation, and then you get hit with the news that Blake Snell is going to be out for the foreseeable future. Yesterday, Blake Snell, he was supposed to throw a bullpen session, and he felt discomfort, and then the plan became, let's shut down Blake Snell, send him back to L.A., and then we'll reevaluate then. Well, I think at this point, it's fair to say you're not going to see Blake Snell back anytime soon. And even when he does get to the point where he's throwing again and throwing bullpen sessions, now it's guaranteed that he's going to have to go through a rehab start and multiple rehab starts until he gets back. And the original plan was to have him back and make his turn to the rotation at some point when he steps back in, hopefully when the Dodgers were in Atlanta next week. Now all of that has evaporated, and that's not under any consideration, obviously. So I think for Blake Snell, you look at, well, since he's been out of the rotation, how have guys fared in his turn through the rotation? And you saw Bobby Miller start, Landon Knack. You've seen the bullpen games. Nothing has worked. So who is going to come to the rescue? Well, at least one of them hopefully is going to be Tony Gonsolin. And Tony Gonsolin, he made another rehab start yesterday. He looked really, really good. And he ends up throwing 79 pitches, and it looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he is ready to go. He gave up 2 runs. He pitched into the 6th inning. It was his 4th rehab start. It's going to be his last one. I can tell you that. And he ends up with those 79 pitches, the fastball velocity, he sat at 93.1 miles per hour, hit 95 on the gun a couple of times through 36 heaters. And in his 4 rehab starts, has a 3.21 ERA. He's given up 11 hits, 6 walks in 14 innings with a 27.6% strikeout rate. So the Dodgers, they have a all-star rotation, an all-star bullpen on the IL. Tony Gonsolin is one of 11 pitchers that started the season on the injured list, and now that's gone up to 13. So he's come back from Tommy John surgery, and it's always going to be a process, but he did have the setback. He tweaked his back with the weightlifting session in Camelback Ranch that just did not go right. So it's going to be a while for Blake Snell to come back, and then hopefully you have Tony Gonsolin, because Gonsolin is someone who's more than a capable starter. When he was at his best, he made the all-star team. I think he's a very solid number 4 or 5 starter that has moments where he looks like a mid-rotation guy, and they need a pitcher in the series against the Marlins. I mean, next Tuesday, next Wednesday, you need a pitcher or 2 to come in and fill those spots, and they're going through a 6-game straight stretch. So we're going to see a combination with Blake Snell out of Tony Gonsolin, and he becomes the Dodgers' 5th starter, really, when you look at what they have right now. And then you got Roki, Yamamoto, you got Glass now, and now you got Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. Well, are they going to use those spot starts? Are you going to see more of Bobby Miller, Landon Knack, Justin Robleski? That has to be the case, because you can't always go to these bullpen games. I mean, yesterday, the Dodgers saw what happens when you have some good moments like Ben Kasperius, who pitched well, and then you have some guys that don't have it, like Jack Dreyer. And Jack Dreyer was a guy that gave up the 3 walks, and he relies on working in the zone. That's the beauty of Jack Dreyer, is he can work in the hitter's zone and be effective. It just, he was not throwing strikes, and they were making him pay. And also want to mention this, when it comes to some of the defense that we've seen of late, I mean, take the play that Andy Pa has made there in that 5th inning. Going to 3rd instead of going to 2nd to set up the double play, that leads to a run, and you lose in a 1-run game. So it's those small plays right there that aren't crispy that the Cubs were making, quite frankly. You saw better defense, better base running. They were very aggressive on the base pass against the Dodgers all season long. But expect Tony Gonsolin back. I expect him to make a start in that Marlins series. And then after that, the Blake Snell, it's going to take a while. I think that they're not going to rush him back. He is their $182 million guy. He's their pitcher that they're hoping to see be dominant in the postseason for them. And I see people out there, we should have got Max Fried. Hey, can you guarantee Max Fried's going to be injured for the rest of the season? Did you know that Max Fried was injured last season? They're pitchers. They get injured. So it's too early to say that Blake Snell was a bad signing, because we don't know what he's going to look like for the rest of the season. Now, if he needs season-ending shoulder surgery and he made just 2 starts this year, had more walks than strikeouts, yeah, then we could start that conversation, and you call him Jason Schmidt 2.0, who made just 10 starts because he was Agent Zero from the Giants. But we're not at that point yet, so let's pump the brakes on any of that. But Dave Roberts did talk about just the sloppiness of the defense. Andy Pa is not making that play. You had Austin Barnes get picked off with runners on 1st and 2nd in an inning where Mookie gets a double and Teoscar hits a home run. You lose in a 1-run game and you give up outs there. It's crucial. Austin Barnes said after the game that he thought that Miguel Rojas was going to take 3rd, which is kind of crazy. Which is a situation where, look, no one's smarter than Austin Barnes. His baseball IQ is incredible. I think he just kind of got caught in a bad spot, but it's unlikely that Miguel Rojas was going to try to take 3rd in that situation in my eyes. But here is Dave Roberts talking about the Dodgers' sloppy play against the Cubs.
You know, I think that was a problem the first couple weeks of the season. It was addressed, and I think the last couple of weeks we've done a really nice job of that. But yeah, today certainly, throwing to the wrong base, which ended up being a run, difference in the ball game right there. Obviously getting picked off where a rally could have, started brewing. There's just things that, we gave them extra outs, and a team that's playing as well as they are, you just can't afford to do that.
So Andy Pages needs to know. I mean, it was Dansby Swanson in that situation, bases loaded, 1 out. They get the run, Kyle Tucker scores, and he elects to go to third instead of going to second, and it was just a bad choice. You got to go to second in that situation, and Andy Pages, not a center fielder. I think he's a corner outfielder. I think that's been pretty evident early on this season. So, yeah, small plays like that against good teams are bad. And then you got guys like Pete Crow Armstrong that turned to Ken Griffey Jr. against the Dodgers, and thankfully they're not going to be facing him again this season, and things start to pile up. But coming up next, we are going to get into our Q and LA session of the week, our new Dodgers mailbag. We'll talk about that next on Dodgers Dugout Live. So let's get into that here and keep dropping those comments down below.
Q and LA Dodgers Dugout Mailbag.
All right, so the first question is from Joe Magazzini, who says, DMac, how concerned should we be about the struggles of Shohei Ohtani? Now, yesterday, Shohei Ohtani, he had opportunities with runners on base to come through in a big spot and really help this team when he did get a base hit that loaded the bases early on, poked a single into right, a little bloop single that gave him his only hit of the night. But for the most part, he was given opportunities with runners in scoring position, and he ends up going 1 for 3, but did not get an RBI. And if you look at the at-bats that he did have with runners in scoring position, you look at the at-bat quality there from Shohei Ohtani, and it's clear that he's expanding, that you look at the top of the 5th inning, runners on first and second, it's a 0-1 pitch, and he's flying out to left, swinging at pitches where they're trying to get in on his hands, and he's not making them pay. So he's not getting into great counts. He's swinging at stuff too early in at-bats, and then you're just seeing him swing it and miss at stuff that when he's struggling, that's kind of the mark of it. I mean, you're also seeing soft contact. I mean, top of the 6th inning, he's at the plate with runners on second and third. The Dodgers down a run, and he's swinging early in the count. He swings at a 94-mile-per-hour fastball that's well off the plate inside, and it's soft contact, and he pops out to short. So you've seen soft contact from him. You've seen him swinging and missing at pitches off the plate, on the outside, on the inner half of the plate, on the inside corner, and the numbers as a whole are just not Shohei Ohtani-like. I mean, these are not MVP numbers. And this morning, I was cooking it up a little bit, and I wanted to see Shohei Ohtani through 23 games last year versus Shohei Ohtani through 23 games this year. And Shohei Ohtani through 23 games this year is hitting .261, has a .358 on-base percentage, a .489 slug, a .366 WOBA, a .431 expected WOBA, and a .134 weighted runs created plus with 6 home runs. So he's been 34% above league average offensively, which if Teoscar Hernandez is putting up numbers like that, you feel good. Those are Teoscar Hernandez numbers. But there's a big difference between a guy that's getting 60-plus million versus a guy you committed basically present-day value $463 million versus Shohei Ohtani. So Shohei Ohtani through 23 games last year in his 50-50 MVP season, hitting .359. So through 23 games last year, he's hitting .359. This year, through 23 games, hitting .261. He had a .419 on base. But the big difference is the slug. Through 23 games last year, he was slugging .630, and this year he's slugging .489. But the expected WOBA is close to being identical. His expected WOBA last year, .440. This year, 431. It's only down 9 points, but the weighted runs created plus was significantly higher. He had a 187 weighted runs created plus, so he was 87% above league average offensively. This year, 134 weighted runs created plus, so he's 34% above league average offensively. Then he has more home runs this year during the same time span compared to last year. He has 6 compared to 4, right? And it's games, not plate appearances, but still kind of gives you a general idea. But the reason why I'm not overly concerned is because, one, we've seen stretches this season where he still looked really good, where you've seen him come through. I mean, the walk-off home run, he hits the home run in the Tokyo Dome against the Cubs, so he still hit pretty big home runs. And then you look at the baseball savant numbers, the expected stuff, and they're pretty much exact from what they were last season in a lot of ways. Look at this is 2024 side by side, expected WOBA just almost identical, just a little bigger. Expected batting average this year it's 301. Last year was 314. The expected slug this year is 644. Last year it was at 660. He's still hitting the ball hard. He's still barreling up a lot of pitches. So it's really not that big of a difference this year to last year. I mean, the strikeout rate this year is higher at 25.5%. Last year at 22.2%. But it's pretty much identical. The walk rate the same. Bat speed this year is actually higher than it was last year. So really, all this is to say that he's gonna pop, man. Like he's gone through a surgery. He's had a kid, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot on his mind. He's going through pitchers rehab, coming off a second major arm surgery. So you combine all those things up, and you still see the metrics that tell you that he still should be putting up elite numbers, and I'm not worried about it. Now, I did see something that was like on Twitter where someone said, well, clearly Aaron Judge is a better hitter than Shohei Ohtani. That's not debatable. My question is, was there anyone out there that was saying that Shohei Ohtani was a better hitter than Aaron Judge? I don't think that anyone who has any basic understanding of how to use either old school or modern statistics to evaluate a player would try to make the case that Shohei Ohtani is a better hitter than Aaron Judge. No one said that. And if that's what you heard, then you were listening to a casual, right? Because the truth is, yes, Aaron Judge is a superior hitter to Shohei Ohtani. Essentially, every metric will prove that. But Aaron Judge is Barry Bonds, Babe Ruth, Mark McGwire when he was on roids. He's someone that we've seen before. Shohei Ohtani, though, is essentially Ken Griffey Jr. and Mickey Mantle and Roger Clemens combined into one player, right? So that's what makes Shohei Ohtani the better player. So you could say Aaron Judge is a better hitter, but Shohei Ohtani, when he's healthy, it's the fact that he can pitch and he can hit, right? Shohei Ohtani, a top 2 to 3 hitter and a top 5 to 10 pitcher. Aaron Judge could not do that. So that's what makes him the unicorn. So I think that's a silly argument. Okay, let's keep going with the Dodgers Nation mailbag. We'll get to you guys down the 7th inning stretch, so keep dropping those comments down below. But this next comment here, this next question comes from Craig Osterberg. Who is your favorite player to interview? I would say has to be Tyler Glasnow. Had Tyler Glasnow on 2 or 3 times. He likes to talk about hip-hop and rap. He's a big Wu-Tang Clan fan. So I think that's pretty cool. I just like the vibe. I think that he's just good vibes, man. And he also gives really good insight and gives really specific, detailed answers. I think he's pretty awesome. I would definitely have to say Tyler Glasnow. We have, this is from Later Cleaners, who says, hey, DMac, do you think Muncy's slow start is opening the door for an Arenado trade? So I would say this about that, is Nolan Arenado, if you look at the start of his season, he's gotten off to a really good start. The bat's above average. The defense is back to being elite. And contractually, that is kind of the big question. I mean, he's making $32 million this year, $27 million in 2026, $15 million in 2027. So do $74 million. The Rockies, they're still on the hook for $10 million. as a part of that trade back in 2021. And then the Cardinals, they have the control of knowing that he has a no trade clause. And there's also $12 million deferred on that deal. I would say this about Nolan Arenado is if you wanted to cling on to any chance that the Dodgers would trade for Nolan Arenado, I would say that you've gotten what you wanted so far, that you've seen everything go in your favor that you would need to see for the Dodgers to pursue a trade for Arenado thus far this season. One, the bat has turned around, so he's a well above average bat. He has actually more walks than strikeouts this season. It's not an elite bat, but it's a bat that's much improved from last season. If he keeps that up, then you look at it and say, all right, that is something that you could see him as a plus player just because he's so good defensively. And right now, he's raised that weighted runs created plus from 102 to 121. And then the strikeout rate is at 7%. He's not striking out, and he's walking 13% of the time. And so you've seen him become a better bat once again. Not an all-star bat. He's not looking like he did in 2022, but he's a lot better than he was last year. Does he maintain that? That remains to be seen. But that would be the thing that the Dodgers would say, okay, if he's terrible offensively, we won't even consider. But he's good offensively, great defensively. And then the third thing you need to see is, are the Cardinals terrible? Well, the Cardinals, their record 10-15 in the NL Central. So they're not a good team. They're 10-15, last place, 5.5 games back of the Cubs in the NL Central. It's still really, really early. Teams can go on a run, so you can't write them off completely. We are in April. But the Cardinals don't look like a good team, so there's that. That's the fourth thing. Then the fifth thing, yes, Max Muncy has gotten off to a slow start. And we already told you his numbers. It's career lows in most categories across the board, defensively as well. I mean, do three true outcome players age better? That's a debate that you hear around Major League Baseball. There's still time for Max Muncy to turn it around, and he does have a attractive club option for next season. I had Bob Nightingale on the show, and he said that he didn't see Max Muncy getting past the Dodgers, or he's going to stay with the Dodgers. He's got a $10 million club option for 2026. And I can tell you that Max Muncy, you know he wants to finish his career here and sign a longer-term deal. So, look, Max Muncy means a lot to this team in the clubhouse, on the field when he's right. But if he did continue on this trajectory where he's struggling for a long, long stretch, then that would be a position where you don't have someone right now that you think is going to be the long-term answer. I mean, Kike Hernandez could play that position, but he struggled this season. So you've got all the things that you kind of need. And then the big kicker is that Nolan Arenado has a no-trade clause. So I guarantee you that even if a team like the Yankees or the Phillies with Alec Boehm struggling, a team like the Astros, if any of these teams came calling for Arenado, he would say, all right, even if I would consider it, check it on the Dodgers first. And if the Dodgers showed any interest, him holding that no-trade clause, that gives him the ultimate power. So I would say that, well, do I think it's guaranteed to happen? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying that if the Dodgers are going to make a trade at that position, that you've seen everything that would go in that direction so far early. So it's still really early. And, like, honestly, perfect world, Nolan Arenado is a great player and great defensively and all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens for him. But in a perfect world, Max Muncy just turns it on, hits 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and plays really good defense and is one of the big clubhouse leaders that this team has. But he asked me the question, so I gave you the answer. We've got this one from Rianu Keeves 1. DMac, what's the best Dodger Stadium food to eat? So I'll tell you this. Since I've been going to the games as a media member, you can go to the media room, and there's a buffet where you pay $15. It's always really good stuff. You've got, like, meatloaf and enchiladas, tacos, like breakfast stuff, salad. I mean, all kinds of prime rib. It's really, really good stuff. But you know me, I waited out. Instead of paying the $15, in the fifth inning, when they clean everything up, they put a big tray of Dodger dogs out there, buns, Dodger dogs, but they also have chili and cheese. So you know your boy just has to give me a chili cheese Dodger dog, sometimes two. I'm trying to cut down. But that's where I'm at. Next question, but let me know down below, what's your favorite Dodger Stadium food? Let me know down below in the comment section. This is from Joseph2796. He says, is DMac's new nickname the Glizzy Gobbler? Now, why would you call me the Glizzy Gobbler? Why would you call me that? Is it because of this thumbnail? Is it because of this thumbnail right there that you call me the Glizzy Gobbler?
Bruh.
I mean, come on now. What is up with that? No, that is not my new nickname, okay? Friends still call me DMac. When I'm at a bar, friends still call me Chug McKain. Still known as Will Smith's doppelganger. But no, should I change my nickname to that? Let me know down below. Then we've got, let's read some comments here. We'll take some more of your questions here on this week's Dodgers Nation mailbag. Bilal K, I respect your honesty, D-Bag. We got Adam818 down below. Pink Pearl 8130 says, nice. Mia, hey, D-Mac, is the sky falling? Is it time to fire Roberts? No, I don't think so at all. Well, come on. They just extended him. I mean, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You don't fire Hall of Fame managers. More people talking about Shohei Ohtani. No, I'm not worried about Shohei Ohtani. I'm really, really not. I think that this homestand is when he's going to go on a run. He's always been someone that's a late starter. Then you see him going crazy. I mean, think about this. This time last year, he had 4 home runs, and then he ended up hitting 50 more on the season. But, Dave Roberts was asked about Shohei Ohtani's struggles to start the season, and here's what Dave had to say.
Yeah, he got I think it was ball 1 slider, then it was 1-1, and then he had a fastball to hit, and then just got too big with the swing. So, where all you need is a base hit right there. Just, Shohei touches it, it's a chance to slug it. But I think a little bit this series, and even, the last game in Texas when he came back, there was a little over-aggressiveness. The swing is a little bit longer than it typically is. It's something we're not used to. I don't know if he's trying to, do something, try too hard. There's a couple walks in there, but, there's other times where, he's getting himself out instead of taking the walk if given to him. That last at bat is a good example of that. But I think this soft day comes at a good time for all of us. And, we've got our ace going on Friday. It's going to be a great pitcher's duel. And our guys will be ready. And, we got to go out there and have a good homestand.
So, look, I mean, he's not seen it well. And he's gone through slumps at different parts of his career. So I need to see this for longer. And I really would need to see is if all his expected stuff is down. Then I would say, maybe it's the surgery. Maybe it's the batting leadoff. I mean, batting leadoff definitely is something where, look, I mean, you look at Fernando Tatis Jr., for example. He's had a great start to the season, 33 opportunities with runners on. Shohei, 20. Right? I mean, you're not seeing the same level of opportunities, and I think that's changing how he's being pitched to. Teams don't want Shohei Ohtani to beat them. They'll take their chance with other guys, and there's no pressure on the pitcher and no stress because of no runners on base because of how the bottom of the lineup has performed for most of this season. Then that is going to be the byproduct of that. But I don't think that Shohei would blame his performance on not having runners on base. I think it's a small factor, but you're going to see Shohei explode. I think it's going to come this homestand. But let's go to some more questions down below. This one is from Mr. Palp Gaming. Hey, DMac, love the channel. My question is, why is the Dodgers pitching been hit or miss besides Ryoshi? Roki has been pretty good, but he's had some games. Glasnow has had some bad games. Blake, Dustin, today it just seems they aren't doing good. Yeah, look, I mean, it's early in the season. For the most part, the pitching has been a work in progress outside of Yoshinobu Yamamoto. You go down the line, Yoshi's been a Cy Young contender early on. Blake Snell's only made 2 starts. Tyler Glasnow has had some good moments for sure, but also had 2 starts where he had to leave early. One because of the rain and the mound and not getting traction, and then the second one getting lower leg cramps. You look at Roki Sasaki. This is a 23-year-old rookie who has never even pitched in the minor leagues and is starting his career at the big league level, right? So there's that aspect as well. And then Dustin May's coming back off of another arm surgery, flexor tendon repair that had the near-death experience. So he's dealt with a lot too, and he's flashed really well. His last start, Dustin May just did not have his sweeper, especially against left-handed hitters. And when he doesn't have the feel for that sweeper, it makes it tough. And he was just leaving fastballs out over the plate. I think that for whatever reason, just the Dodgers pitchers did not have great feel for their stuff. And the guys that rely on soft contact and ground ball outs and guys like Jack Dreyer and Dustin May just were not executing pitches. So when you're not doing that against a really good lineup, then that's what leads to bad performances. So I still think that I'm willing to live with all I want is health, right? If you give me health, I'll live through the struggles. And unfortunately, you already had one injury with Blake Snell that, I mean, look, maybe we'll see Shohei back and Clayton Kershaw back before Blake Snell. We just don't know at this point, but that's what you're looking for mostly on that one, is trying to make sure guys keep staying healthy and that it's not an issue moving forward. And this next one is from Anthony Keene. DMac, should the Dodgers trade for Sandy Alcantara now that it looks like Blake Snell is going to miss significant time? Look, one, we don't know how long Blake Snell is going to be out. Two, we need to see more from Sandy Alcantara. And he has not been great so far this season. The numbers have been down, but the fastball velocity is still consistent at 97. And he's not a velocity-reliant pitcher. I mean, he's someone that throws that two-seamer, tries to get hitters to hit ground balls. And I think that if they did miss a couple of guys significantly, like if for whatever reason Blake Snell is shelled for the whole year or Tyler Glasnow goes down, I mean, it's way too early to tell, and you just kind of want to knock on wood and make sure that doesn't happen. But I do think that if this team felt like they needed another lead starter because of injuries, I think that they showed that they're all in on this version of the roster. So I would expect if they needed another lead starter to go out there and get one, but right now they don't need one. I mean, you still have Shohei Ohtani coming back, and he's someone that he's an elite starter when he's healthy. Blake Snell's great in the second half. So really it's just about keeping their guys healthy. Let's not forget, your game one starter right now is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He's earned that, and he is that. And then Roki Sasaki by the end of this year might be elite. So it's still way too early. It would have to come down to multiple frontline guys getting injured. So it's way too early. But Sandy Alcantara, looking at his contract, he has $20 million team options. Or no, Sandy Alcantara, he has a really, that's a Luis Robert Jr. from the top of my head. But Sandy Alcantara, I mean, he has a $21 million club option in 2027. So, I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, he signed through 2026. Okay, here we go. Signed through 2026. He's got a $21 million club option in 2027. So you'd get him for potentially 3 years. So, look, I mean, that'd be a big commitment. It depends on what the asking price would be for the Marlins, because if he doesn't turn around and pitch like a elite frontline guy, you can't expect major prospects in return. But with the team control, they're going to probably want to sell him as that. Interesting one I was thinking of, it's kind of the go big, crazy one would be, what if the Mariners kind of, they're 14-11, still really early. I don't know how great of a team they are, but yeah, I mean, when I think of a guy with 2 years of team control, Logan Gilbert on the Mariners, he's someone that I would give top prospects for. But yeah, no word on if they're going to trade him. But if they ever did, that is one that I would feel better about. I mean, talking about an elite starting pitcher there in Logan Gilbert. Okay, this one comes from Wendy 4442, and she asks, DMac, should we bring back Kenley Jansen? So same situation, Kenley Jansen and the rest of the bullpen. The bullpen is set up right now where you got your elite closer in the offseason in Tanner Scott. He's still rounding in the form. He's always been better in the second half of the season than the first half. Evan Phillips is back. Michael Kopech is on the mend. You're going to get Brusdar Graterol back. Hopefully you get Blake Trinan back. Anthony Bond is in the fold. Jack Dreyer is emerging. So you've got names for sure, but for them to go out there and get another elite closer, and Kenley, not quite elite. He's been really good so far this season, by the way. It's an early season. Kenley, a a 0 ERA and a 156 expected ERA, and that's in 7 innings and 7 games. So, yeah, he's looked really good so far early, but, yeah, you would have to have multiple injuries. But I will say, I mean, look, Kenley wouldn't be the worst option. He signed a 1-year, $10 million deal, so expiring contract. Those are the kind of guys you trade. Same along with Ryan Helsley of the St. Louis Cardinals. The same picture right there. So that's where that's at. But that's going to do it for this week's Dodgers Nation Q&LA, the Dodgers Dugout Mailbag. And now it's all about you guys. Let's go to the 7th inning stretch.
The 7th inning stretch.
All right, here we go. We got Jose Aguirre. We got Graham Farmer, DMac. We were 15-11 this time last year. We are 16-9. So what's the big deal here? The big deal is we're Dodgers fans, man. We expect this team to be the best team ever and go 162-0, then go 11-0 in the postseason. But no, I mean, look, they are 16-11, but I think that even the Dodgers themselves, if they're being completely honest, knows that this hasn't been the best start for them. You've had sloppy games. You've had to come back in 9 of those 16 wins. But, yeah, I mean, to your point, they are on pace to finish with a better record than they were last year. And this team just has more potential than that team did. So I'm not overly panicking. I'm just, hey, man, I'm just talking about what you guys want to talk about. This is Kiss FM. I'm playing the hits, right? So, yeah, I mean, I do think there are some things that you can point to that you don't want to see linger throughout the season. Lack of bottom lineup construction, the lack of the bottom lineup production, Shohei Ohtani not being at his best. I mean, things like that, I mean, are going to correct themselves. Like, I lose no sleep about Shohei Ohtani. Bottom of the lineup, though, I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, if he hits like he did yesterday, you'll live with the bad defense. But left field, if Michael Conforto does not improve, you need more production out of there, and you need better defense. So what to do in that situation? At some point, I want to start talking about Alex Freeland. I want to start talking about Dalton Rushing. I want to start talking about Ha-Seong Kim and giving guys opportunities. And I don't think the Dodgers would be too afraid to punt if they don't think they can get that. Also, Mookie Betts. Great to see Mookie have a 3-hit game yesterday, some hard contact, a big RBI double. The defense has been really good so far. So if Mookie's offense can look more Mookie Betts-ish, then you'll feel good about that. But, yeah, I don't think there's too much to worry about. And I think that this is a get-right homestand for them against the Pirates and the Marlins. After this homestand, they could be 2 games up in first place and having the best record in baseball. So things can change quickly in a sport where you play every single day. But here we go. We got Lucy Chen. We need Freeland rushing to be on this team, speaking it into existence. Keniseki. All that matters is the Dodgers win the World Series. D-Powers _16. DMac, do you think the Dodgers should go after Tristan McKenzie? Again, a lot of that is going to be based on how healthy they can keep this team. And they've already used 20 pitchers this season. There's teams out there that have used more. I do really like Tristan McKenzie for sure. And look, he hasn't been great though. I mean, like that's not someone that he's a fun guy for sure. He's a good personality, but doesn't necessarily scream, okay, let's go out there and have to get Christian McKenzie. But when is the Goat Shaw coming back? That's from Cubes 818. So Clayton Kershaw, he's continuing to work his way back. He's been on the mend. He made a start down in Double-A. So that is to answer your question. At the very best, I think Clayton Kershaw, if he has no setbacks or anything like that, I think you'll see him back at some point towards the end of May. I mean, his last rehab appearance, he pitched into the 4th inning, had 4 strikeouts. It was his second rehab start. There was no velocity for the StatCast, but he was hitting between 86 and 88 miles per hour, I can tell you that. So the soonest that he can be activated is May 17th. So there's room for 3 more rehab starts, and then we'll see after that. So, yeah, I would say towards the end of May for Clayton Kershaw. A couple more here. Let's get it with you guys for sure. We've got, who else we have? We had to Mr. Classic. If we were having all the problems and the Dodgers had a huge lead in the NL West, we wouldn't care. Interesting point. Jose, Sandy missed the entire season last year. Aren't y'all saying you don't want injury-prone pitchers? Bilal, are you serious? Hell no to Kenley, MB. I'm not on that. I'm just saying, I asked the question. The sandwich, $4.99. Tanner Scott is a federal agent for the Padres. Come on, man. No, he's not. I have to give that a bro. You know what? I'm going to get a comment of the show. But that's not true at all. He is not, but there's my super chat bell right there. You the man, DMac. What up, Daniel Killingsworth? Appreciate that. D Powers, what's up? We got Bilal K. It's the manager's fault. We have Tim Geddes, not a fan of Muncy, although the troll who heckled him is reprehensible. Boo to that clown. Yeah, that was just clown behavior. Clown behavior for sure. But all right, guys. Oh, yeah, see, someone said Jock. No, yeah, Jock, I think, had a 41 plate appearance streak where he didn't get a hit. So, thankfully, Jock Peterson did get a hit, and he's past that. So, yeah, I'm happy for him, man. I hate when guys slump for that longest stretch. It's not pretty. All right, guys, so coming up on the walk-off, I saw this. We haven't talked about this. What are you guys' thoughts on this here on the walk-off?
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
Bumgarner, Gum, and Juan Marshall for at least 4 outings with at least 4 outings with 10 strikeouts and no walks. What does it mean to you to be in that list with those guys?
I'm sorry guys. Farts are always funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's anytime you're in a list.
All right, man. So, of course, that's Logan Webb of the San Francisco Giants in the clubhouse, and one of his teammates farted. So, I just got to know who was that. I think it was Justin Verlander, right? It had to have been Justin Verlander. And, yes, farts are always funny. I mean, come on now. I don't care what you say. They're always hilarious. I mean, let's just be honest. I remember I was at a funeral once. There was like 100 people there, and someone farted, and everyone started laughing. I'll never forget that. And people were just like, "Okay, that's not the time." But yeah, kind of proves that point. A.M. Sanchez says everyone's a musician. We've got to get rid of Meet of the Kids. Pull my finger. That's from Ray Soto. We got it. Big Joe smashes DMac. Travis Hunter, number 1 today. Really? That'd be a surprise. Tyler Serrano, I'm going to say Dodgers started losing after DMac's hot dog video. BC says Verlander needs to get shelled by this team. Someone playing. Okay, let's roll it one more time.
With Bumgarner, Gum, and Juan Marshall for at least 4 outings with at least 4 outings with 10 strikeouts and no walks. What does it mean to you to be in that list with those guys?
So I guess SF stands for someone farted. Someone in the San Francisco Giants farted, and Mookie Betts and Teoscar Hernandez were talking about saying that it's always funny. So, yeah, I thought that was just pretty hilarious right there. But, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, definitely subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Hit the like button. Also, do me the biggest favor, and if you are a Lakers fan, you'll have a really good chance of winning a Luka Doncic Lakers jersey if you go to the Big Lead One. Subscribe to my new channel, have the notification bell on, and comment Luka Magic. I'm doing Dodgers breakdowns over there and playing Dodgers highlights, so that would be awesome if you did that. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.